Alrighty, welcome back to Scoop Eats. We're at B-52's in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, taking on the mother of all burgers. This burger is described as 2 pounds of juicy, loosey patties, bacon cheese curds, onion tanglers, fried eggs, lettuce, tomatoes, and charred scallion bacon aioli. So if you win, you get a free t-shirt, $25 gift card, if you can take down the burger and the basket of fries within 1 hour. So shameful to say, we did end up taking pretty much the whole hour. You'll have to stick around for a couple minutes to see if I actually finish this thing, but to start, the aioli was dope. Like the sauce that they put on it and all the eggs, and I mean, God, it felt like there were 50 pieces of bacon in there. It was tough. It was a fatty, greasy burger meal, but not to say that it wasn't super delicious. Inver Grove Heights happens to be my hometown, and I've been to this restaurant when I was a kid. I don't think I've been back for over a decade, but from what I remember, it's been known to have some solid food. I don't remember this burger being there, but probably because I was never interested in eating, 5% of my body weight at one time. So here we are. And I did have to speed this video up just so y'all didn't have to sit through like a full hour, but we're cooking. I went through, started with the meat for the most part, got a little bit of bread down, but wanted to start with the Juicy Lucy's, because if you don't know, a Juicy Lucy is a burger patty kind of filled with cheese in the middle, and then they cook it, and then all the cheese on the inside gets molten and melty and super yummy. I will say the Juicy Lucy's were dope, but super important to get those down. Oh yeah, selfie for Jimbo. Quick little arm cameo from the Scoop Padre. My dad wanted to come down and spectate. He was close. It was a super good time. He made it a lot more enjoyable than sitting in the corner of a booth by myself with a bunch of strangers looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing over here? So I ended up doing this around lunchtime. It was like noon. Thinking back, I probably should have done it around dinner time. That might have made it easier, but we're still cooking. Probably about 15 minutes in at this point. I was trying to shoot for like a half an hour. I saw Randy Santel did this in 19 minutes, and looking back, that is just insanity. Unfortunately, you don't get the food for free if you beat it. It is a $50 burger, but with the $25 gift card, I mean, we kind of cut that in half, so if you beat it, it's probably a pretty good burger, bang for your buck wise. Oh my gosh, those bacon wrapped cheese curds were monstrous, and they were so heavy. And honestly, I'm not a huge cheese guy, so like just hard cheese wrapped in bacon, I was like, I gotta save those for later because I cannot eat those right now. Started mobbing out all the bread and all the extra little crispy fried onions and lettuce and tomatoes that were left over after the meat. They had really nice napkins. Big fan. Sturdy. Oh my gosh. Couple deep breaths. Definitely struggling by this point. I guess you could say I maybe bit off a little more than I could chew here, because this was much larger than the double Nookie Supreme challenge that I did last weekend. But I haven't touched a Diet Coke yet. I feel like that's kind of like a last resort, from what I hear from Beard Meats Food and all the other actual competitive eaters. Food is staying in my mouth longer than it should. Swallow it quicker. Go, go, go. By this point I was definitely done with the burger and the bread. I was like, Jesus, criminy. Let me be done. But yeah, can't stress enough. I mean, the eggs made the burger like, I don't know. I love eggs on my burgers. I know not everybody's like that, but I was a big fan. Alright, so I think I got the burger done in about 20 minutes or so. 20 to 23 minutes, somewhere in there. And now we're moving on to the fries. I like to do my little stack them up, make a little mini log cabin with them. Because if you can stack like 8 or 9 fries in one little chunk, it makes it really easy to take the tiny bites and just kind of woodchuck your way through it. It's supposed to make it easier to swallow, but by this point I had no saliva left in my mouth. Every single bite I needed some sort of liquid to help lubricate that action. We're getting it. Go, go, go. So I think speed might have been a factor here. I don't know why I was getting so full. I think if I would have choked down those cheese curds at the beginning, might have made this a little bit easier on myself, but by this point I was struggling, man. Deep breaths here and there. The waitress had faith. She walked by and was like, what size t-shirt you're gonna want? And I was like, man, I don't know about that, coach. You're gonna have to give me a little bit. I don't know if this is happening. My confidence was plummeting. Because if I was to take this compared to like the 5 pounds of cabbage and watermelon, I would do the cabbage and watermelon any day of the week. Like, this was so hard towards the end. Finishing up the fries. I will say, every time I burp for the rest of the day, I can taste the crispy onions. Not my favorite thing in the world, but the price you pay. A couple more fries, Jimbo, taking some Snapchats for all the folks. Yep, dump out the rest of the fries. There's an empty basket. Oh, man. What a good helper Jimbo is. What a guy. Like, throughout this whole thing, I had a bunch of really nice burps come thanks to the Diet Coke, but, like, by this point, every burp was like a 50-50 shot. Like, is this going to be gas or is this going to be straight up all the food I just ate? It was dangerous game to play to try to burp a little bit by this point. Got some fries left. It's like, man, it should be so easy, but dude, just having the food in my mouth, my body was like, no, dude, you need to stop. You should have stopped 10 minutes ago. Yeah, no, we hit a brick wall right here. But there's not much left. Get the fries. Oh, and if you can see the cheese curds wrapped in bacon are still sitting on the skewer. I only ate 1 out of the 4 so far. I don't know if I'm getting those down though. Good God. Struggling. Had to do a couple time checks with the waitress, like, hey man, do I have time to eat these or no? Because if I didn't have any time, I was going to just leave them and take the L. But we still had like 10 or 15 minutes to eat these last 3 cheese curds. Oh, the look of disgust. I think the bacon wrapped cheese curds by themselves are probably super yummy, but when you just get done eating 5 to 6 pounds of food, it's like, man, my body's not liking how this feels right now. In my mouth, in my stomach, anywhere. A futile attempt at trying to stretch. But this was full-blown the most I've maxed out my stomach, for sure. Over the last couple weeks since we started doing this, this was by far the most full I've been ever. It's actually pretty humbling because you see the other food competitors, you know, they make their videos and they do this challenge in 20 minutes and they're fine afterwards. You know, they're chugging liquid after, they're living the dream, they're happy, they're smiling. I could not imagine. So if nothing else, this means we're going to get a lot more training videos on the Scoop Eats channel because we are We are not prepared for the big boy challenges. Struggling. Struggle bus. Struggle bus. This is still 6 times speed, so I was sitting there with my head in my hand for like a full 2 minutes. I hate life. I hate everything. Somebody help. I had to cut that last cheese curd up into like 5 pieces just to be able to put it in my mouth without yakking all over. Oh, this was the last push. This was like, all right, man, fuck it. We got a minute. We're going to do it. Ugh. And that's it. Struggle bussing. Let's just sit here and watch me struggle for a little bit. Think about my life. I think at this point I was thinking, man, I don't ever want to do a food challenge ever again. Rough. So even though I don't look too happy, I'm pretty hyped that I got it down. Just shoving away any other little tiny onion scraps on the plate. Otherwise, it's just the hardened cheese from the Juicy Lucy kind of on the edge of the plate, and that's about it. So definitely not for the faint of heart. I don't think the waitress knew how hard this was for me, because she walked by and was like, yeah, we had a 15-year-old do it yesterday. Youngest competitor to ever do it. And I was like, geez Louise. Like, I've been training for like 2 weeks nonstop, and some 15-year-old kid just comes in and knocks it out. We got some work to do. Oh, a couple more scraps. Nom, 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 nom. And I'm asking, is this good? Because I'm gonna die if this isn't okay. All right, it came through. Hands up. I think I still got some freaking cheese curd in my cheek. I just like literally can't swallow any more food. But hooray, the stretch of victory. So, even though this was a struggle and super difficult, I want to get better. So, like, I can come back and tackle this challenge and do it in like half the time. So anyway, still able to squeeze out a smile at the end there, but then straight back to despair. So anyway, if you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you could like the video. Subscribe if you'd like, no pressure. But otherwise, we'll be back with some more training videos throughout the week, and then hopefully we can hit up another challenge next weekend.